Hey, how you doing? It's Clayton Tini from the First Home Buyer Club. 100 lessons in 100 days, day 74, lesson 74. Today, what I want to talk about is, are all banks and brokers the same? Now, the short answer for that is no, they're not, right? Every bank has their own lending criteria and policies, and every different broker is different. Good or bad, they're all different, right? And you need to understand, who are you working with, and are they in the best interest for yourself? Because at the end of the day, the only one that gets punished if you get declined for a loan is you. And with that being said, I want to discuss a couple of points and questions that I want you to ask yourself when you are trying to explore the finance options and really try and understand who is best and what you should be looking for. The first thing that comes to mind is, does the bank or broker have your best interests at heart? And I'm not here to say any bank or broker is doing wrong by you, but certain banks, as I said before, have got certain lending criteria and policies that are best suited to you, or more so, that are best suited to them, and sometimes they aren't suited to you. So here's a good example. I grew up with a Dolomite account. So guess what bank I went to for my first home loan? Now, knowing what I know now, especially with first home buyers, we don't suggest that they're the number one choice to purchase your own home, because you've got to jump through a lot more hoops to get approved with them. And there's a different criteria that you need to go with if you were to use them. So again, know who you work with. Point number two, do you have enough income and savings to purchase a home with that lender? So there's a lot of 98% lenders or banks that have suddenly just removed themselves from that bracket of the lending at the moment. There are some lenders that have gone all the way down to 80%, and unless you have a 20% deposit, they won't give you finance. You need to understand this, because the other thing is, when you're applying for finance, are you planning on using the first home buyer grant and the home builder towards your deposit? Or are you just planning on using the first home buyer grant towards deposit? If you are, make sure you're going to the right bank that will actually use rental history or rental income towards your savings history. What I mean by that, you're renting at $400 a week over the year, that's nearly $21,000. Unless you miss payments, it shows in the bank size that you're good for payment history, right? So we can use that towards your savings history, boom, and now we can grab that $15,000 and put it towards your deposit straight away. Another thing when it comes to income is that not all banks assess at the same rate. Understand that. I've also had clients that have come to us and go, such and such bank, and it's more they've gone into a branch, and I think they spoke to a branch manager, but such and such has said that we can borrow $600,000. Now, I always, as a start point, use the 6 times rule when trying to understand how much you can afford. This is what I mean. If you only earn $50,000 a year, then your capacity to purchase is going to be somewhere in the vicinity of $300,000. Up and down, depending on the lender and depending on your debts and kids on the side, but somewhere in that vicinity. So when a bank or someone tells you can borrow $600,000 on a $50,000 income, and I have had that client that's tried to tell me that, they're not going to work. You're not going to get improved. The other thing you need to understand with this is that if you go into a branch, and whatever branch it is, and talking to the teller, they're going to try and register you to their bank, because then you're tied in with that bank itself. So you get a home loan with a different branch, that branch still gets rewarded for the efforts. So even if they didn't have a part to do with you getting approved 6 months later, they've still got that connection to tie you in with it. Point number 4. How long is it taking the bank that you're looking at, or the bank that the broker's using, to 1, pick up your file, and 2, how long is it taking for them to get approved? So especially at the moment, there's a lot going on with the home builder, the first home buyer grant, the new home guarantee, which used to be the loan deposit, and it's taking a lot longer than actually should. So the thing when you need to understand with that is, if you have a tight finance condition and date for applying for that loan, then you need to be aware that you can't go to someone that's taking 20+ days to pick up a file. And point number 5, what's the cost of doing business with them? What I mean by that is, how much is it costing in fees to join them? And then on top of that, after that point of how much it costs, what are the other things that you got to be aware of as a result of doing business? Do they have offset accounts? What's their annual fee? Do they allow you to do the things you want to do? Do they connect up credit cards in relation to the home loan? What are all these other things that you need to ask those questions? And the last one, and not so much it's required for finance, but I was always one that I like to go in a branch when I can. Not to say that I am that person that doesn't like internet banking, because I do everything on the internet, but I like to know that if something needs to happen with my home loan, or I've got a question to ask and I just can't get on to the hotline and get the right answers, that I can walk into a branch and go, hey, can you look at my file and give me a hand? The other thing is, I realized the other day I didn't have my cards with me and purchased something for my jacket and needed cash. Now, I don't carry cash most of the time. So I'm like, how am I going to get the money out? And I'd already had my jacket fixed. So I had to walk down to my branch, did the cardless thing because for some reason the ATM wouldn't work, and just got it done that way. If you're using a small lender that doesn't have that ability, then is that going to be a good thing or a bad thing for you? All right, guys, I hope you got a bit out of today. I think what are we day? We're November the 24th, so there's something like 37 days remaining of the home builder boost. There are a few lenders that are allowing to use it towards the deposit. However, you need to have a 10% deposit. But again, if you qualify for that, the chances are you probably qualify for the new home guarantee, to completely avoid mortgage insurance, get the cheapest rates in history, and go a real Kickstarter of 40 grand to go start you off in your process. All right, guys, have a good night. Talk to you later. Bye.